Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to South Carolina. We are at Darlington Speedway for the Southern 500 here tonight. We got Jeff Burton there on pole. Roush has locked out the front two rows. We got 90 laps at this mile-and-a-half egg-shaped speedway. Um, there's gonna be tons of tire wear. There's gonna be a lot of strategy, a lot of pit stops. There's gonna be a lot of different pieces moving on. But yeah, I'm excited. This one should be a fun one. We got a lot of really good races coming up, and I mean, this is another one of them. We had the Indianapolis or Brickyard 400 not too long ago. We had the Bristol Night Race. We got this tonight. We got Talladega, I believe, next week. The Busch Series is off for the final time. Um, and then it'll be the Trucks and Cup next week. But tonight, it's about the Southern 500, the final crown jewel race of 2004. Who will win it? That's the big question. Alrighty, we had the late model race Wednesday night, the truck race Thursday night, the Busch Series last night, which was Friday night, and we are here Saturday night. So we had a week packed full of racing. We have J.J. Yaley actually won the late model championship, and Robert Presley, who dominated the year, had a flat tire last week. Early this week, got caught up in a wreck. Um, Finished 6 points behind. LW finished 8 points behind. Um, very consistent. Eight top tens, five top fives, no wins. Didn't even lead a lap, but he had a pole. Mark Gibson won himself a race. So did Jay Sauter. Shane Wallace, he's a developing driver. Sean Thompson, kind of in that Hendrick pipeline, but it'll be really interesting to see how J.J. Ailey's career progresses. There's rumors, rumblings that he's going to go to Joe Gibbs Racing next season. Coy Gibbs is moving on up to the Cup Series. We'll have to see how that happens. Denny Hamlin down there in 21st only had 5 starts. Um, Sitting 21st, there was 20 cars with 8 or more starts, and we had 86 unique entries. Um, but yeah, um, Robert Presley led the most laps, the most poles. I think everyone, I think there's no one had more than one pole. Most top tens though went to J.J. Yaley. Surprisingly, Paul Wolfe had 8 top tens, only finishing 10th in the points. Most top fives goes to Robert Presley with 6. 5 went to LW. And the wins, Robert Presley, him and Brad Smith were the only two guys to finish first twice with 2 wins. Um, but yeah, no one reached 500 points. There's only 14 races going into the next season. Um, we'll have to see, who can win next season. But yeah, well, with that being said, we'll focus on tonight. And tonight we got the Southern 500. I'm excited. This race is going to be wild. There was a big one in the Busch Series. I don't have any footage of it, but it was Johnny Sauter for the second week in a row getting turned, and there's a huge crash. I believe Ron Hornaday went flipping. He got T-boned on the apron. It was awkward angle, but yeah. And then the drivers are being called to their cars. We'll go over the weekend winners as well. We had Kyle Busch in the Truck Series going back to back, winning Bristol and Darlington. That Roush 99 truck is on a hot streak right now, winning back to back. He's been showing some speed this summer, just some flat tires, some engine issues. We'll have to see where Kyle Busch goes next season. I imagine he's going to go to Busch, but where? Um, Jason Leffler in the 16 truck is basically guaranteed that Hendrick 5 car ride in the Busch Series. Speaking of the Busch Series, Jason Keller ended up winning that race. He probably had about the fifth best car, but with the strategy, he was able to capitalize, get through the lap traffic, and he ended up winning over Carl Edwards. But with that being said, we'll send it down trackside to get your starting lineup, some late breaking stories, and yeah, ones to watch. Starting on pole, we got the 99 of Jeff Burton. To his outside will be Kurt Busch. Inside row 2, Matt Kenseth. To his outside again, his teammate Mark Martin. The first driver not in a Roush Ford is Brian Vickers. To his outside, Kevin Harvick. Then row 4 consists of Joe Gibbs Racing with Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte. We got Terry Labonte. To his outside, the first Dodge, Ryan Newman. Then we got Casey Mears, Robbie Gordon, the RCR Chevrolet. And there's another RCR Chevrolet and Kenny Wallace. Jimmy Johnson's trying to make a comeback on the season. There's Dale Jarrett. Jimmy Spencer qualifying pretty well. There's Jay McMurray. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon. There's Bill Elliott and Jeremy Mayfield. A couple Evernham Dodges there. Then we got Jack Sprague. Ricky Rudd, remember he won Watkins Glen there. There's Elliott Sadler. David Starr's getting another shot in the 84. There's Joe Nemechek, Ken Schrader, Michael Waltrip. We'll send it down trackside and we'll get the command to fire engines. We'll finish off this starting lineup.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's the command to fire engines. We'll finish up the starting lineup. Surprisingly, Greg Biffle all the way back here. Um, considering his teammates are inside all the top four really. There's Sterling Marlin, Kyle Petty, Martin Truex Jr. There's Ricky Craven, Steve Park, John Andretti. There's Jeff Green to the outside. Mike Skinner's going up the inside. There's Ward Burton. There's Christian Fittipaldi, Dave Blaney, Paul Menard, and Mike Bliss will round out your starting lineup here tonight. Southern 500, mile-and-a-half track. It is 90 laps. There's going to be a ton of fall off. It'll be really interesting to see who can master the strategy, have the best car, the best driver at the end of the day. But we got 90 long laps. We're going to look at this pace car here. This pit road is going to be super, super tricky to get on. There's the yellow line. See how aggressive you got to turn to get under that yellow line. That'll be something to watch out for. As these guys round turn 4. Roush is going to lead the field to green. And you hear him step on the loud pedal. We are green from Darlington. Matt Kenseth will lead lap 1. Can Jeff Burton hang on to second from Brian Vickers? He does that. Can Kurt Busch hang on? He does. As you saw, we had Ricky Rudd on pit road. Not sure what's going on there. We'll have to get an update of some sort. But the top 3 are all Roush. Then we got the Hendrick Motorsports 5 car. Couple Joe Gibbs racing cars on the inside. And Mark Martin's trying to move his way up. See, Robbie Gordon got really high in front of Jimmy Johnson. We'll come around to the completion of lap 3. It's still Matt Kenseth leading Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton's been on a really good run here recently. Trying to put his bid in to keep that 99 car as he seems to be closing in here on Matt Kenseth. Here's Ricky Rudd. He's going to lose a handful of spots. Laps, not spots, pardon me. Look at Brian Vickers throwing it up the inside. And you're going to see Ricky Rudd does not have the amount of laps on his tires that these leaders do. He's 2 laps down, which 2 laps is 2 laps, but you're going to see these guys are already a 10th off their fastest lap. Matt Kenseth is 7/10ths off. These tires go away and go away in a hurry. See, Brian Vickers there slips up. Ricky Rudd's going to go to the inside easily. Because Ricky Rudd's already up to second right here. He's going to clear the 99. As he just set his fastest lap of the race. Matt Kenseth already a second off. 5 laps into this race. So tire management, tire saving is going to be huge. You see just the amount of grip Ricky Rudd has right here. Matt Kenseth is just unable to get to the throttle like the 21 can. Now the 21 will get one of his laps back as Brian Vickers is looking for second. Vickers does get second there from Jeff Burton, but Jeff Burton's not letting him get away too far. As Ricky Rudd's starting to put some distance between him and the 17. He's still setting fast laps. There he already lost half a second that last time by. There's Mark Martin, there's Kenny Wallace, there's Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson sitting 12th. Jack Sprague's having himself a pretty good day. See where your favorite driver is. You got Elliott Sadler. Whoa, Michael Waltrip almost stuck at 3 wide there in the middle. Martin Church Jr. is inside the top 30 here. Greg Biffle's running 35th. Kind of surprising. Now I know, um, every week you want to have a fast car, but this is one of the weeks where it's okay not to have the fastest car. It's better to have a top 10 car and the best strategy versus a best car and the 10th best strategy. Um, Tire management, I mean, these guys are already off nearly 2.5 seconds after 9 laps. It's going to be a long race, 90 laps, but also just with the tire fall off, it's just going to further extend this race. But it's going to be, the car and the driver is not going to be able to make up the 3 seconds of tire fall off that these cars will produce. See Tony Stewart's hounding Harvick for a top 5 spot. Going to the outside, we got a couple Shrek cars, Interstate Batteries, and Home Depot. Jeff Burton's trying to size up Brian Vickers to get second place back. Rookie Brian Vickers has been quite impressive right there in that 5 car. He's been able to help elevate that team. There goes Jeff Burton looking high. Kevin Harvick's looking high on Kurt Busch back there. Kurt Busch says no thank you. Ooh, Harvick wanted to fit the middle there, but Tony Stewart's to his inside. Will he be able to defend his top 5? He does for now. Does that open the door for Bobby Labonte or Mark Martin? Does for now. We got Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon back here side by side for 13th. Is Jack Sprague sitting 15th. Great run for that zero. He's got the net zero fear factor on the hood of that car. That's a very fitting sponsor. Fear factor, because you got to be fearful of this racetrack. This racetrack, if you're not paying attention, it'll reach out and grab you. See how close Kevin Harvick is to that wall. If you're not paying attention, it'll grab you. Brian Vickers that last time by was just under a 10th quicker than Matt Kenseth. One thing I can announce for next season will be, obviously, crew chiefs and everything have always been a part of this, and when I'm upgrading and doing ratings and stuff, they'll always be a part of the way I factor that in. But there will be a name to the crew chief and ratings that will actually affect the driver ratings and team ratings going forward, going into 2005. There'll be one crew chief per team. That'll be like Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, not the actual like 5 car. There'll be one crew chief for 4 cars, or for Joe Gibbs next season, they're going to have 3 cars. So there'll be one crew chief to those 3 cars. And so on and so forth. So we got a yellow here. We got a big Rick Johnson. Kyle Petty up in the air on the wall. We got fenders and hoods. Not quite hoods, but fenders and panels on this front stretch. The 23's in the pits. Matt Kenseth's going to come pick up the pace car down here in like 1 and 2. Jeff Gordon's got damage. Greg Biffle's torn up. Christian Fittipaldi's missing a right front fender. There's the pace car going off into turn 3. What the heck happened? There's Jeff Gordon there dropping fluid all over the racetrack. Okay, so this was the first thing. Lap 13. You got Paul Menard right here on the inside. And you're going to see him hang a left. Speeds up, speeds up, speeds up. Then he starts deaccelerating hard on the brakes. You see the smoke coming out of the back of the car. He blew up. I believe, though, something broke before then. Like right in here. I believe something broke. It just wasn't terminal. So then as you see in your bottom left-hand corner, this is one lap later. See, the 88 slides up, and the 33 kind of drifts up. Just doesn't really turn. They kind of come together into Jimmy Johnson and hang on. There's Gordon makes contact. The 33. Steve Park T-bones him. Huge hit for Bill Elliott. And then Kyle Petty gets hit by the 16, the 33, and the 48 all at the same time. Bill Elliott took a huge lick. So here is Kyle Petty. You're going to see him come off of turn 4 here. You see the smoke in your bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And he just tags a 33, gets airborne. I'm going to try my best not to show the Bill Elliott part of the wreck, because that is crazy violent. He is getting towed right now. They are working on getting him out of the car. He still has not exited the car. Does not look great for Bill Elliott. He got hit 3 really hard times. I believe it was a 33 car he hit, and then it was also the got nailed by the 4 plus the wall impact. Yeah, we'll take a peek out of the rear end of Jimmy Johnson here. Hang on. And on the roof of Kyle Petty. Violent. And once more from Kyle Petty. Or this is Kenny Wallace, excuse me. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Alright, we are back to green. We're not quite live yet. We spent so much time looking at those replays of the huge crash. Took a lot of cleanup. Quite a few cars out of the race. But these guys did pit. They took 4 tires. And we are back green here with 70 laps to go. You see the tire marks down the front stretch. Bill Elliott is being rushed to a hospital currently. We'll have to hopefully get an update before this broadcast ends. We're hoping he's okay. Kenny Wallace, he is in the infield care center right now. He's being checked. Hope he's doing okay. But yeah, we're just fingers crossed for those 2 guys. Those guys took a ton of hard hits in that big wreck. But yeah, anyways, we are back green here. Matt Kenseth leads. You can just see the speed these guys have once again. Brian Vickers is all over the back end of the 17 there. And he's looking low. Brian Vickers is looking for the lead. Remember, he does not have a career win yet. Brian Vickers, or Matt Kenseth, will still hang on to the top spot, but Brian Vickers is hounding him, trying to get around. There's Kevin Harvick shot out of a cannon through 1 and 2. Kenseth hangs on for now. Harvick's trying to take over that top spot for the Chevrolet brand. But he wants to take over the top spot for the whole entire race. Kenseth gets loose. Vickers is able to grab the lead, and he's got it. New leader, Brian Vickers. And these guys, we're going 192 down in the corner, and I believe I saw it was like 170 already. These tires are just falling off a cliff. He got maybe 2 great laps with them, and then they just start slowly falling down the cliff. There's Jeff Burton sits 4th. That's Bobby Labonte in 5th. Kurt Busch. Jack Sprague's having himself a great day. There's Casey Mears, Elliott Sadler, Jeremy Mayfield right back there. But, yeah, Brian Vickers is running away with it currently. So you see these damaged cars all back here. There's Dale Jarrett. Jimmy Johnson's running 26th. We talk about the championship and everything. This is where championship titles are earned. They are made. Jimmy Johnson's, he's going to have to fight for every position. He's going to have to claw for every point. And Matt Kenseth's sitting second so far, led the most laps, and he's just going to drive away with it as of right now. So we'll see if we can fast forward to back to live. We're probably maybe like a lap or so, maybe half a lap behind. So going 2 times speed. Harvick's looking for a run on Kenseth. Jeff Burton's getting a run here on Matt Kenseth. I just went back to live on accident. Whatever. Didn't miss much. Harvick's trying to defend off Jeff Burton. Bobby Labonte, Kurt Busch is getting a run. I believe it's 62 laps to go this time by. We got 34 cars still left in this race. The 24 is out. The 9, the 33. Kurt Busch is way up there. I don't know if he scraped the wall or not, but it was sure close. And the 4 took a shot. He's been checked and released from the infield care center. The 45. The 16 is going to finish 40th today. 41st will go to the 20th, or the 41st will be to the 2 car. Paul Menard will finish last today. But yeah, Kenny Wallace still in the infield care center. Has not been released yet. And Bill Elliott is off to a local hospital. Yeah, fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. That was a couple really hard hits. Jeff Burton's looking to the outside of his teammate here now. As Kurt Busch is trying to follow and get 4th from Harvick, and he does just that. So near 3 wide back there. Stewart Jr. and Ryan Newman. Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, all over the back end of Stewart Newman. As now Matt Kenseth is starting to back up a little bit here. Pressure from Harvick and Kurt Busch. As Jeff Burton's a couple tenths quicker than your leader right now. There's 2 really good battles going on here. Jeff Burton's trying to size up Brian Vickers. And then Matt Kenseth's trying to defend from Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick. Bobby Labonte's trying to catch up to Kevin Harvick. Kurt Busch has now caught the back end of Jeff Burton here, looking for second. And we got a new leader here. Kurt Busch steams around the outside, gets around Brian Vickers. And we've got pit stops here, 16 laps into this run. So this will be really interesting. You're going to have to see Brian Vickers, Kevin Harvick, Terry Labonte there, Elliott Sadler. All these guys are going to get an insane amount of track position once the pit cycle cycles through. They are a lot of time has scrubbed off these tires. Around 8 seconds of fall off. Meanwhile, back on track here, maybe. Anybody stay out? Yeah, Jeremy Mayfield stayed out on track. Not sure if that was a great idea. There's Brian Vickers. He should get one heck of a run. Now this is where, kind of where Johnny Sauter got spun out, cut across David Green's front bumper, turned himself down the backstretch. He gets down out of the way safely. There's Jimmy Johnson hauling the mail. Here comes Elliott Sadler. He's hauling the mail quicker. There's Jeff Green. So there's Vickers. There's Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, Dale Jr. coming out side by side. There's Newman. Matt Kenseth and Jeff Burton lost some time in the pits. Not sure what happened there. But by far, your leader right here, Brian Vickers, coming off of turn 4. Ooh, look out. We got a Mike Bliss. There's Kurt Busch here. Mike Bliss is way off the pace here. And this is what some issues right here. He's driving that Joe Gibbs 80 car up top, trying to stay out of the way. But just so much significantly slower. And it's going to be hard if he can try and get down here. There's Jeff Green, Martin Truex Jr. He's going to stay on track for now. Jeff Green barely gets it down. Look out, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, Casey Mears. There's Matt Kenseth just in front of Jack Sprague. We'll kind of see how everybody cycles here. David Starr smoking down the backstretch. Dropping oil everywhere. That might prompt NASCAR to throw a yellow. And there is oil all over the track. They are going to have to throw a yellow, but Brian Vickers leads with 50 laps to go. Terry Labonte, Elliott Sadler battling out. Labonte gets 3rd. Johnson sitting 5th, and this race has turned on its head as we talked about the strategy. Because Matt Kenseth sits 23rd right now. There is your top 5 or so. And this is really going to, because the timing of the yellow, these guys are going to want to pit, but they can't pit in front of the pace car. I think Terry will be fine, maybe, if he can get down. But Brian Vickers, Kevin Harvick are not going to get the option to pit. Terry Labonte, it's too late for him because these guys are going to pit, and they might cycle to the lead. Oh boy. Alrighty, well, we'll see if these guys pit here, and we'll be back with you when we go back green. Alrighty, so we got Brian Vickers, Kevin Harvick. You got these 5 guys. These 2 people, Ricky Rudd, Jimmy Spencer, are 1 lap down. But now that will give the lead to Elliott Sadler. And Jimmy Johnson's now running second. Alrighty, the pace car just took a left-hand turn. We got Jimmy Spencer up the inside. He is a lap down. We got Elliott Sadler will be leading us back to green. Kevin Harvick, Brian Vickers, and Terry Labonte all lost their track positions, so it'll be interesting. Remember, they had to pit. They couldn't pit because the pace car wasn't caught up to them yet because that yellow was so poorly timed. But we will have to see who can get their track position back here. This time I will be halfway. Nemechek's looking up the inside. Michael Waltrip. There's Sterling Marlin is flying on this restart. So yeah, these three cars right here, it'll be really interesting to see. Whoa! Mark Martin's blowing up on the inside. Is he down and out of the way, though? Oh, he got turned. He got spun out by the 80. Hard hit. Slid for a long time. So we'll fast forward back up to live here. There goes Michael Waltrip. We know Sterling Marlin is flying on fresh tires. Seems to kind of be stalling. Found his way around Michael Waltrip. Ryan Newman sits fourth. Joe Nemechek fifth. Blaney's going for fifth. There goes Kurt Busch. We know he's fast. The 48 still got damage. Meanwhile, back up front, Elliott Sadler will lead, but not for long. Here comes Sterling Marlin. Wonder where... Yeah, Mark Martin's down there in the pits getting repairs, but that thing was smoking. I don't know if there's much life back in that 6 car. He said it was slowing down, like it was leaking something. Not sure. But yeah, there was something wrong there. He was down on power, and then the 80, Mike Bliss just misjudged it, ended up spinning him down into the wall. Dale Jr. goes for 10th around Ricky Craven. He's going for 9th here on Johnson. That 48 car is pretty torn up. Not much else that Lowe's team could do. There's Joe Nemechek trying to get around Michael Waltrip here. Bobby Labonte's flying here. Dave Blaney gets around Elliott Sadler. Here comes Kurt Busch trying to get his name back in the mix. He might get a 2-for-1 deal down here in turn 1 and 2. He's got Newman. Sadler lifts. Kurt Busch has to lift a little. See if that 2-for-1 coupon is still good down here in 3 and 4. He's going to go high. But here comes Bobby Labonte down the inside. Kurt Busch clears for 3rd. Bobby Labonte unable to get around the 38. There goes Ryan Newman. He's going to clear the 38 as Sadler. But Sterling Marlin has checked out. There's Dave Blaney. Kurt Busch is looking up top. Will he get a run going around the outside of Blaney? He does. He's up to 2nd. Last time by was a 30.54. Sterling Marlin ran a 30.85. So he's a couple hundredths quicker. As Dale Earnhardt Jr. is flying up through this field. There's Mike Bliss going for a spot on Jimmy Johnson here. And there is Matt Kenseth sitting 19th, and then here's these guys. Robert Gordon, there's Terry Labonte, Kevin Harvick, Brian Vickers. These guys are battling, trying to get back inside the top 20. So you can see the pace is already just starting to fall. See, Jeff Burton's got himself back inside the top 10. Dale Jr. is trying to catch up to Bobby Labonte, just past Newman for a top 5. As Kurt Busch is a couple tenths quicker than Sterling Marlin. As these tires will begin to fall off. He's quite a few tenths quicker. And Dave Blaney's pitting. He says he's got an issue. From third place, Dave Blaney has an issue, and he's going to pit, giving third to Bobby Labonte, fourth to Dale Jr., and Jeff Burton's going to grab a top 5. There's Casey Mears, Joe Nemechek. Mike Bliss is going to grab a spot from Tony Stewart to promote him to 10th. There's Jimmy Johnson. There's Matt Kenseth. One thing that Jeff Gordon finishing 35th does, as well as Greg Biffle, is that will really disrupt this championship battle. Those guys will not get points, or they will get points, but not as much as they were hoping for. As Matt Kenseth looks way around Jimmy Johnson. He's going to go to the inside. And that'll be a huge point swing. Matt Kenseth. That'll be a huge point swing in Matt Kenseth's favor. Now, Kurt Busch is 4 tenths quicker. So we can expect pit stops here in the next 5 to 10 laps. Probably closer to 5 laps here. As Kurt Busch is trying to catch back up to Sterling Marlin. You got the 0 on pit road. Not sure if he's got an issue or he just wanted fresh tires. We got the 19 there. Mayfield's on pit road. Is he just how much quicker Kurt Busch is than Sterling Marlin right here? As he's trying to close up to the back end of that Dodge. So we got Ryan Newman on pit road. That might be the race-winning strategy right there. You got Michael Waltrip really slow down there on the bottom. That'll give Ken Schrader and Robbie Gordon a really good run. Ken Schrader running 11th right now with no hood, but he's got the fresher tires than these guys. There goes Brian Vickers looking up the inside. Who pits this time by? Top 5 stay out. Here comes Casey Mears. Mike Bliss is going to stay out for now. Tony Stewart's looking to the inside of Sadler. There goes Matt Kenseth. He's going to pit. There goes Jeremy Mayfield and Jack Sprague. You see these guys like just blow the doors off of Martin Truex Jr. Look out! These guys are way slower. They're split in the middle. 3 wide goes Sprague. Mayfield gets caught up. That's going to allow the 0 to really pull away now. We got Ryan Newman. We're going to track his progress. He's going to fly through the field. Look out, Dave Blaney. Jimmy Johnson gets turned around backwards into Harvick. I don't know if the yellow came out or not, but they're going to continue going straight. No yellow. Kenseth's on pit road. There goes Newman. There's Casey Mears down there on the apron. There's so much happening. And all that, Bobby Labonte's your new leader. And Ryan Newman is flying around here. See if we can see what happened to Jimmy Johnson as he was coming down in the pit road. Yeah, so you see the 0 flying. Johnson tries cutting down in front. Does not expect the 0 will be that fast. And then gets hit by the 29. Just further shortens up that rear bumper. But it's already pretty short as can be. There goes Ken Schrader. Had a slam on the brakes for Jimmy Spencer. Matt Kenseth almost runs him over. And that will allow Jay McMurray to pull away. But meanwhile, your new leader after the cycles, we got the 80 on the apron smoking. I believe that'll be an engine failure. We got Ryan Newman. He will be your new leader. We'll see kind of hopefully everybody cycles here. as the 80 will get down to the pits. But Ryan Newman will be your new leader after everything that just cycled. Elliott Sadler had a report of a tire going down. He was able to get to the pits safely. But Ryan Newman now leads. Martin Truex Jr. is behind him trying to get his lap back. Sterling Marlin. There's Casey Mears, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Dave Blaney. We got Kurt Busch right there. Mayfield. Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte. All these guys are back here. There's Bobby Labonte running 9th. He's on the freshest tires. Jack Sprague. Jimmy Johnson's a lap down. Jamie McMurray. Matt Kenseth's running 12th. It's like we're watching this race in time speed, but it's just how much speed these guys have on fresh tires. Are just ripping around here. But meanwhile, because Ryan Newman pitted so early, he was able to get the lead, but here comes Sterling Marlin with a run. He's going to get to the outside, and he will clear before he gets to the start-finish line. New leader, Sterling Marlin. So we got 25 laps to go here. These guys got to make one more pit stop. I'm thinking right around lap 74, these guys would have to pit one more time. We got 29 cars still out on the track. We got 22 cars on the lead lap. Joe Nemechek, the last car in the lead lap. Trying to get around Martin Truex Jr., Christian Fittipaldi's just ahead of them. Michael Waltrip trying to get his lap back. Dale Jr. is trying to mount a charge inside the top 5 to try and catch up. There's Jamie McMurray running 10th, over 16 seconds behind the leader. And your leader is Sterling Marlin. "22 laps to go." See Michael Waltrip's just flying around here. He's just got so much more grip than the 40 car. He's going to take a peek to the inside, and he gets around Marlin. There goes Dale Jr. Ward Burton's going high. Jr. goes low. Burton nearly in the fence. Dale Jr. is now up to second. Running a 31.80. He's a couple tenths off, but I think Newman there held him up. All these guys are a lap down, got a little fresher tires. They lost a lot of time on the front end of this strategy, but they're gaining it back on the back end. Off of turn 4, 19 laps to go. Let's say these guys are about 3 to 4 laps away from being able to make it on one more pit stop. We got the Coors Light, we got the Budweiser cars here, and the Miller Lite cars. Steve Park was caught up in a wreck earlier. He's going to finish 41st. Jeff Burton, Kurt Busch. They're over 6.5 seconds behind the lead, but they're inside the top 5. There's Ryan Newman. Bobby Labonte's going to get 6th here on Casey Mears. So he sets his sights on Ryan Newman in a top 5. There goes Tony Stewart getting around Matt Kenseth for a top 10. These guys are coming around to 17 laps to go. Brian Vickers are up to 14th there. There goes Michael Waltrip flying around here. There's your leader, Sterling Marlin. One guy to kind of keep an eye out for. We've got Ryan Newman. I expect him on pit road here very, very shortly. He was the first guy to pit. I'd say if you pit now, you could probably make it to the end. I'll go one more lap just to be sure. As Newman and Mears are going to stay out at least one more lap. Bobby Labonte's got his sights on Kurt Busch. Bobby Labonte is one of the fastest, probably the fastest car in the top 5 right now, but he's so far behind. We've got Sterling Marlin here deep into lap traffic. There goes Terry Labonte going high. Dave Blaney's now on pit road. Look out, Marlin is deep, deep in lap traffic. He's got cars all around him. There's Dale Jr. as we just reached the 15 laps to go. Anybody coming this time? I don't believe so. But we got one car down there. Who was it? Oh, it was Dave Blaney again. Not sure what's going on with that 77 car, but nothing great. So yeah, whoever can pit. It's like Joe Nemechek's got fresher tires than these guys here. Ricky Craven's going for 11th around Matt Kenseth. Jack Sprague's in the pits. Is he on the lead lap? He is not. But he's getting those right sides off. He's getting a new pair of shoes. As Bobby Labonte has caught Jeff Burton. We got the 49 on pit road. There's the 77 just flying around here. Ricky Rudd. There's Kevin Harvick. We got a battle for 3rd on our hands. Bobby Labonte has cut the back end of Jeff Burton, looking to the inside. Can he get around here? There's Dale Jr. just under 2 seconds behind Sterling Marlin. Marlin is begging for tires here. As we got pit stops. There goes the 40. There goes the 8. The 99's pitting. There goes the 97, the 18. They're gonna hope for a yellow. If anybody wrecks getting onto pit road. Looks like Newman was already on pit road. There's Newman. There's Casey Mears. There's Jack Sprague getting around your 2 leaders. Bobby Labonte's gonna try and get around Kurt Busch. Next time by will be 11 laps to go. These guys are hoping, within all the chaos, the pitting, that it draws a yellow, but they're not the yellow. They're both going to get to the inside of the track. They're looking to pit. They're the only 2 cars yet to pit. Well, there's Tony Stewart and Joe Nemechek back here. But Casey Mears, he is in the catbird seat right now. He's the first car in fresh tires. Robbie Gordon and Ryan Newman make contact. They're going to be teammates next season. They better get their communication right. I know Casey Mears kind of already had the track position, but that'll be really interesting if that comes back at all to bite Ryan Newman. As you see, Casey Mears is flying around here, coming to 10 to go. There's Dale Jr. off into turn 3. You just see how much more grip he has through the corner. There goes Sterling Marlin. He's got a pretty good handle on this race. As you see, these guys are just crawling around here 2 by 2. As here comes Sterling Marling up on the 2x2 mess. As he's got a check up, look out. They're 3 wide, threading the needle through the middle. There comes Martin Truex Jr. Casey Mears is now third, I believe. There's Jeff Burton. Did Sterling Marlin get through this mess? He has so far. 10 laps to go. Next time out will be 9 to go. Yeah, Dell Jr. is caught behind Dale Jarrett. There's Casey Mears. How much time did Bobby Labonte and Kurt Busch lose? Are they going to have enough time to make it up on the back half of this run? I don't know if there's enough time. Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson, Terry Labonte are on pit road. That's not good. As we're getting a report that Matt Kenseth had a tire going down. That is not what you want to hear if you're the 17 crew. Or a fan of the 17, but there goes Jeff Burton going for third around the 41 car. 7 laps to go. As there's a lot of lap traffic between Sterling Marlin and the rest of this field. And Matt Kenseth coming back out on track. There's so much happening. There's Dale Jarrett. There's Jeff Burton. Casey Mears, top 5 right now. It's going to Ryan Newman. There's Mayfield. Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, Kurt Busch. They're going to be on fresher tires than these guys. There's Jeff Burton trying to look to the inside of Dale Jarrett. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. And Sterling Marlin is running away with it. Well, he's not running away with it, but... yeah, Matt Kenseth is only going to gain 3 points, I believe it is, over Jimmy Johnson. He's got 2 spots on him, plus he led a lap. I don't believe Johnson led a lap today. See, now the 29 is down there on the apron. He's got engine issues. That 29 bunch has just been struggling all night. Sterling Marlin gets through the lap traffic. 5 laps to go for Chip Ganassi Racing and Sterling Marlin. Dale Earnhardt Jr. did make up some time, but now he's got to get through the lap traffic, and barring a major mistake by Marlin, I think this race is his. There goes Robbie Gordon looking up the inside. He's going to unlap himself. And that will put 13 cars on the lead lap. Mark Church Jr., Ricky Craven, Matt Kenseth is multiple laps down due to that tire failure. There's Jimmy Spencer. Dale Jr. is getting a run on him. Next time by will be 3 laps to go for Marlin. There's Bobby Labonte going to the outside looking for a top 5 on Newman. He's got him so far. Kurt Busch is looking for 6th. He's got 6th. There's Dave Blaney running 10th. But here comes Tony Stewart with a huge run. He's looking for 10th. But meanwhile, back here now, Sterling Marlin's in the pit. What's going on with Sterling Marlin? Sterling Marlin is in pit road, and Jeff Burton's looking to the inside. 2 laps to go. It's going to be a Jeff Burton Dale Jr. Can they get through this lap traffic mess? Something has happened to Sterling Marlin. Jeff Burton, Dale Jr. in the pits. What is happening? Casey Mears, he's going to stay out. Bobby Labonte Kurt Busch, if they weren't in this lap traffic, I think they would have a shot at this win. Kurt Busch is looking up the inside of this lap traffic. White flag is out. Final lap. 33.3, and these guys are running 31s. Kurt Busch is just screaming at Ken Schrader to get out of the way. Casey Mears off of turn 2. Does he have what it takes? Does he have the fuel? What is happening? Kurt Busch has finally cleared the lap traffic. Through 3 and 4, one final time. It's going to be a Chip Ganassi win, but it won't be Sterling Marlin. It's going to be Casey Mears picking up his first career win at Darlington. What just happened? Did they not take enough fuel? I don't know. There's Ryan Newman's going to get 4th. Jeremy Mayfield 5th. Michael Waltrip 6th. 7th. I'm not sure who's going to get 7th here. 7th's going to go to Ricky Craven. 8th will be Dave Blaney. 9th, Joe Nemechek. Top 10 will be Robbie Gordon as he runs out of gas in the last lap. Dale Jr., Jeff Burton. Congratulations to Casey Mears, but did those guys not fill enough fuel? Is Sterling Marlin's going to come home 13th? Unbelievable. But yeah, once again, congratulations to Casey Mears and team. I was going to say Chip Ganassi was going to win the Southern 500, but I went to Casey Mears instead of Marlin. Unbelievable. That race just took just over an hour. But here are your official results. Brian Vickers just missed out on the top 10. Jeff Green finished well. Christian Fittipaldi top 10. Kenseth finished 24th. Jimmy Johnson 28th. Last car running. 17 cars finished on the lead lap. See where your favorite driver finished. We got Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon were caught up in that big wreck. Bill Elliott. Still no update with him. We'll have to see what's going on with him, but here's your results. We'll update the points, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, this is the points following the Southern 500. This is race 22 of 30. 8 races left. You see Brian Vickers jumps up to 2nd in the points after his good run today, after he finished 11th. Casey Mears jumps up 2 spots after his win. Mark Martin and Kenny Wallace both lose 4 points, or 4 spots in the points. Biffle loses 3 spots. Jeff Gordon loses 1. Kurt Busch and Harvick switch places. Nemechek and Mayfield move up. Ricky Rudd loses a spot. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Matt Kenseth has basically a full lead, a whole race lead over the 5, the 24, and the 12. Around 70 points over Johnson and Biffle. Jeff Burton there, Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch is looking for his 2nd win of the year. Yeah, I think if he would have gotten around that lap traffic a little better, he was running way faster than Mears. But Casey was just able to get through the lap traffic, had the best strategy, was able to pass him on the short run, and was able just to pass lap traffic. And that was what it came down to. And remember when they came out of the pits, I forgot who it was, but Mears was able to go through the middle and then the inside, and Ryan Newman was stuck up top and was able to pull away. And if Newman was able to get through, yeah, Robbie Gordon, his teammate, Ryan Newman's new teammate going into next season. We'll have to see how that happens. We know Robbie Gordon, Newman confronts him. I don't know if he will. Probably won't be smart for Newman to do that, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Trying to think if there's anything else to cover. I think next week is Talladega. That one's going to be a wild one. Yes, Bill Elliott. We just got an update on Bill Elliott. He is okay. He is awake. He was awake the whole time. He is fine. He is a little shaken up. Evernham told him that he will be sitting out next week for Talladega. Rusty Wallace, you can't make this up. Rusty Wallace will be back in that 9 car. Remember, he was in the 45 car for an injured Kyle Petty, and he finished 2nd to Ryan Newman. And yeah, Rusty Wallace will be back in the 9 car. Not the first time he's been in the 9 car this season. He raced at Martinsville, had a really tough time in Martinsville, but he'll be back at Talladega. So that'd be really cool for Rusty Wallace and that bunch. But yeah, Bill Elliott, he's probably going to lose some points, some spots. He's already down 1 start. He'll be down 2 starts. But we're wishing Bill Elliott the best wishes and the best rest. So he'll be back for the following week. Following week, I believe it's like Kansas or Charlotte, something like that. But yeah, we'll have to see. Matt Kenseth, can he hold on to his point lead? Can Jeff Gordon make the comeback? Um, we'll have to see. But until then, we'll see you next week for Talladega. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day.